so day 2 of the trading combine. I took a couple of trades yesterday, not many, just some small tester trades. And I took a few this morning, so I took a long off this demand, and then I took another long, where was it? Took another long, it was in here somewhere, there was absorption, this bar here, not that one. This one. I took this. I took one of these fucking things. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to record my trades for this Topstep combine. Trading gold. I took a couple of small trades yesterday, so the account was up 82 yesterday. I took a couple of trades this morning, so we're up 430, and I'm still looking to go long on gold. If you have a look at the 1 hour, we're basically moving back up into this large area of supply, so I'd be looking for price to test this. This is where we had this big sell-off, and then we've consolidated. We broke back above this range, back above all of this volume, and now we're creating some balance just below this supply zone. So I would expect these highs to break and for a test of this supply before potentially a larger move lower. So on the short time frames, I'm just looking for an opportunity to get long, essentially. So I've taken a long order here on this push up, and the reason for that is this bar here is a lot of absorption has occurred in this bar. So essentially what we've got, if you look at the volume on this small little indecision candle, the volume on this bar compared to the previous bar, the volume is much larger, right? The bar is slightly smaller, and it's also at an important point where we've got these lows, we've got this balance, this range where trade is being accepted, price is being accepted. We dipped under, and the volume built as we dipped under, so these orders were being absorbed, which basically means that the sellers aren't in control of moving this market out of this range. So it's moving out now, but this is one of those early signs that, you know, buyers are coming in, they're willing to absorb price. If price doesn't move, but there's a lot of volume, that means there's a lot of trade occurring at that point. And if it's at a point that's important on a chart, like breaking out of a range, and the sellers or the buyers can't move price out of that range, but there's a lot of activity that occurs, and then there's someone else on the other side eating up those orders. So this is a really good initial sign that we might be wanting to go higher. All right, so now we're testing back up into this range. This is a good sign. We've got volume coming in, strong push up. So this volume node here, which is basically this previous balance area that we were looking at, this is the key part of this trade. So if we break up in and test up into this and we hold, then there's a good chance we're going to break all these highs up into this supply. So it's looking good. I decided not to add to it. You could have added this bar down here, this pin bar on increased volume. You could have added there ahead of this demand area. But realistically, I want to try and get my risk up. And so we'll see how if this holds and we break this high, I'll get my stop under here. So at this point, I'll reduce my risk. There's no need to see price come back down. We're basically tested under this range, absorbed, volumes come in. We've got a nice pin bar on high volume. Now we're getting a nice push up back up into this range, which means that down here, you see all this volume down here, all these volume bars down here. That's this price action here. So anyone that got in short under this range, expecting this trend to not continue, is now trapped. So they're going to have to get out of their trades, right? Which will push price up higher potentially. All right, so we're getting the push up into the range. I'm expecting these highs to be taken. Now, once we get above this high, I'll see what volume comes in. If we get high volume coming in above this high, which we probably will, I might start scaling out potentially, because the last thing I want to do is to test up above this high, take any sort of orders that might be resting there, and then push lower. But this looks good when you've got people offside like this. So you've got all this volume coming in, and these are all traps. Well, there's going to be a lot of trapped shorts in here. When they realize they're trapped, they're going to have to get out, which usually means you get a strong push in the opposite direction if price is going to go in that way, right? There's probably going to be a bunch of stops above here, so anyone that's got short under this range, they're probably going to have stops above this high. So I would expect once this high gets taken that we will get a quick flush higher. How high we go, we don't know, but I would expect a quick flush higher. Once we pop this high, I'm going to go to break even, which we've done. So this trade's now risk-free. We're watching the volume. So large volume on this big push is fine, but if we see volume on a bar like this building, that's where you kind of don't want to mess around with it too much, which it's doing. So I think I might start offloading a bit here.
Order filled. Order filled.
So this is the issue with this, right? You've got all these shorts that are trapped. They've got their stops. Once these stops get flushed, if anyone does want to get short, that's a really good spot to get short, right? So I really don't want to mess with this. I want to make sure I get something good out of this trade. So I'm going to start trailing up in case we do continue lower. The trend is still up, and I still think we're going to potentially flush up into this supply. I'm just going to trail pretty aggressively.
Order filled.
That's fine. Stopped out. So trade management was okay. We obviously got some money out of that trade. The follow through wasn't really there for the full flush up into this supply. I think it still will do it, but that's fine. So that idea played out. So essentially, started getting long here on this absorption bar, and then as we came down, probably could have added, didn't though, and then we scaled out up to the higher end of this move, and I think that'll be it.